The sequel trilogy is far from the best of the best as far as Star Wars movies go, but I want to tell you all about 10 great sequel-based LEGO Star Wars sets. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and let's hop right into it with a set from The Rise of Skywalker, the Resistance Awing. The set was released for $30 with 269 pieces and was done in a beautiful dark green color scheme, and I think that's the biggest selling point to me is just how great that dark green color looks matched with the LEGO white there. And this is to date, bar the UCS model, the best playset Awing LEGO has made. It's just so well done. The engines look really nice with the yellow coming out of the back. You've got stickers to add detailing all throughout the ship. The wings angle in ever so slightly. You get 2 minifigs in this set, which is one short of what I would want out of a $30 set with Snap Wexley and Lieutenant Connix, so not terrible, but not the best figure selection ever. Definitely could have used one more there. This is a fantastic playset and definitely worthy of cracking our top 10. At number 9, we have another $30 set, the Octo Island Training. It had 241 pieces with 3 minifigs, Luke Skywalker, Rey, and a Porg. It was the only set Luke Skywalker from the sequel trilogy has come in thus far. Who's to say what could happen in the future, but as of now, this is it, and it's a real good Luke Skywalker minifigure. Anyway, this set had it all. It had a semi-decent looking display side of things with the rockwork kind of stickered onto there, which some people will hate. I thought was a nice little touch. You also had a big rock outside of the hut, which could actually be broken open, and there was a crystal inside of it. And of course, you had that little area just to the right of the rock that Rey could spin around with her lightsaber and knock the rock over to break it open type of deal. There's a bed for Luke that you could lift up. There's a pan for cooking things in, a little fish, little flame, little torch inside. Very, very fun details in such a small confined space. And on top of that, you could also knock away part of the wall. It was a real good playset for the time and the price. At number 8, I have one of the least sensible ships ever in Star Wars, but still to me one of the best sets that LEGO made. The Resistance Bomber, a $90 set with 780 pieces. It had 5 minifigs, which we'll touch on in a second, but I unapologetically love this ship. There was also a rarer version of this set that sells for like $1,000 on eBay that had a replaced pilot with Finch Dallo instead of just generic pilot number 3 or whatever it was. So that was another cool aspect about this set for some people. I still, for me, it would have ranked in the same spot, whatever, because this ship is amazing. It had a surprisingly strong build, very easy to pick up, hold, and swoosh around. I really loved the bombing feature where it could actually just drop the bombs out of the bottom, just like you saw in the movie. You loaded them in through the top. It had plenty of space for minifigs. You could put like General Holdo and Poe up top. You can see here with the pilots or gunners at the front and different little ball turrets for them to fit into as well. Very, very nice. A lot of space for figures. There was also stud shooters and your typical, place to hide your spring-loaded shooters when you aren't using it type of stuff. The engines for this look phenomenal. I'm just a big fan of the look of this ship, and there's not a real better way to say it. At number 7, from the original wave of Episode 7 sets in 2015, we have Poe's XWing Fighter. They also released 2 other essentially recolors of this, but I think I like the color scheme on this one the most by far, with a very sleek red and black. This one included 717 pieces retailing for $80. It also included 4 figures with Poe Dameron, a Resistance X-Wing pilot, a Resistance ground crew, and BB-8. The set also included a few add-ons in addition to the X-Wing with a crate, a cart, and a ladder. But the X-Wing, of course, is the main star of the show with, at the time, a new cockpit windshield piece, which is just fantastically sleek for these types of X-Wings for LEGO Star Wars. And you could turn the piece on top to open and close the X-Wing's wings. There were also some stud shooters kind of smartly hidden into the side of the ship. You can barely even tell they're there because the black and the gray kind of just matches the color of the ship anyway. Sometimes they really stand out. Moving on to number 6 from 2017, the First Order Star Destroyer. This one had 1,416 pieces for $160, and it only included 5 minifigures. For some reason, LEGO gets really stingy with figures in expensive Star Wars sets, and it really bums me out sometimes. This really could have used a few more Stormtroopers or a couple of other odds and ends of characters. I don't know who, but something a little more for your money there. Nonetheless, the figures that we did get were fine. When it's all closed up, it is awesome for display. It does have some stud shooters on the side, which, much like the Poe's X-Wing that we just took a look at, actually just kind of meld into the design. They don't really pop out too much. On the backside, it has fairly well detailed engines, And then we get to the inside of the First Order Star Destroyer, where there are tons of play features and details. First off, a little bit to have Snoke come up into the bridge area of the ship, kind of like a little elevator built into it. It's a bit weird, but it is a cool play feature. You got like the medical droid off to the left, you got some stormtroopers in an area to the right, kind of a little confined in the back of the Star Destroyer there, but at the very front, you do have kind of the bridge representation, which looks fantastic, with the 2 other Imperial officer characters up there, and I really love the walkway that they stickered it off with the red stickers, because that looks so sharp up there, and also really do appreciate that they added black onto the side of the build on the Technic bricks there, because I think that helps finish off that area as well. There were 2 Millennium Falcon Lego sets released with the Sequel Trilogy set, and I suppose technically the UCS Falcon could be considered a Sequel Trilogy set, but I did not consider it for this list. The Force Awakens Millennium Falcon is also a fine set, but at the end of the day, the Falcon from 2019 from The Rise of Skywalker is top tier to me. It had 1,351 pieces and retails for $160. It also has such a great figure selection with Dio, R2-D2, Boolio baby, love Boolio, Finn, C-3PO, Chewbacca, and then of course Lando Calrissian being kind of the big exclusive character in this set that I think drew in a lot of people. The Falcon itself had a new design, something we hadn't seen in a play-scale Millennium Falcon for quite a while, and it actually rounded off the panels so much more nicely than what we saw in the past, so there were no more gaps on top of the Falcon, which looks so great from a display and even for play perspective. Like, it's just nicer to have something that looks more realistic. Speaking of the panels, I was a big fan of the way that they opened in 4 separate sections, and it gave you real easy access to the interior of the Falcon to use all of the crazy play features, such as a couple of beds. There was a little hideaway area underneath the floorboards. You have hollow chests and some seats near there. You've got a small kitchen area. Of course, in the cockpit of the ship, you could fit a few characters, if you count Dio as a character there. You know, technically there are 3 characters in the cockpit there. This is just a fantastic Millennium Falcon playset, and there's a reason Lego's kept it on shelves, at least as of the recording of this video, for almost 3 years. At number 4, I have the First Order Transporter. The first reason it's good is there's only one reason you can say it's bad, and that's that it's a little too short. It definitely probably should have been longer, maybe another $30 more expensive, whatever. It's an otherwise fantastic model of the ship that we see in the movie. It adds on some play features as you would expect for any Lego Star Wars playset, with some spring-loaded shooters and stud shooters on top. You can have the First Order Stormtrooper pop out of a little hatch and man one of the turrets there. That's pretty cool. But can we talk about the figure selection? Can we just for a moment acknowledge that in a $90 Lego Star Wars set in the year 2015, Lego included 7 minifigures. That doesn't happen nowadays at all. And the way I think about these sorts of things is you've released a troop transporter, a troop gunship, whatever, of a faction. And for this set, they included the commander for that and Captain Phasma. Great figure. And they included 4 essentially regular troops. You get 2 flame troopers and 2 regular stormtroopers, but that's 4, generic stormtrooper type troopers. Like in a clone ship, you get 1 clone trooper if you're lucky. And it's like, what's going on here? This is fantastic. Why can't we just apply this to everything? And we live in a utopian society. And we get 2 resistance figures as well. I bought, I think, 5 or 6 of these when it was all said and done. This is by far one of my favorite sets from the Sequel Trilogy. And into the top 3 we go with BB-8, a $100 set with 1,106 pieces. It included a little itty-bitty BB-8 minifigure figure thing. But the star of the show, the BB-8 buildable character. This thing is just the absolute best. I can't imagine a better buildable character for this price point at this time in Lego Star Wars history with the new movies coming out. This was one of the most exciting sets for a lot of people. And I think what made it great is pretty obvious. It looks as good as you could expect a Lego set like this to look. So it's great for display. It was a good value at $100. It comes with the display stand and everything, with the display plaque with some information about BB-8. But it also had a killer feature. And that is that it had the little flame that he popped out and used like a thumbs up in the movie that Lego recreated, so he could pop out and use it like a thumb too. And on top of all that, his head could move and bob, and that was kind of fun. At number 2, also from episode 8, we have Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter, an $80 set with 630 pieces. I definitely could have used another cooler minifig than like a First Order TIE Pilot or First Order Stormtrooper. Like something cooler than one of those things would have been nice, but Kylo Ren and PP9E were certainly fantastic in the set. look, as we'll see with number 1, I'm pretty sure Kylo Ren is my favorite character from the sequel trilogy. And on top of that, Kylo Ren's like color schemes, it's just really, really dope looking, like at its core. The dark gray and black just goes so well together, and then you add in that just touch of red and one of the things that I think really sets this one apart is that LEGO doesn't ruin it with stud shooters or spring-loaded shooters. There are spring-loaded shooters on the set, but they match perfectly with the translucent red color. Like, you're never even gonna notice that they're there. They actually add to it, in my opinion, in that way. And the function to shoot the spring-loaded shooters was kind of cool, where you just push down on the top of the ship and they shoot out. This is another one, just like BB-8, that if you don't own, I highly, highly recommend going out and buying while it's not crazy expensive. And that brings us to number 1. In spite of how bad some of these movies may have been, some of these LEGO sets are clearly great. And at number 1, we have the greatest of them all. By far, the best sequel trilogy set LEGO could ever make, and probably will ever make, unless they make a UCS version of it. Kylo Ren's Shuttle, the remake. There was an original version that came out in 2015. It was in gray and the wings did not fold out. I liked that set, but I love this set. They made it right. They changed it to black. They added the feature of folding the wings out. It is so incredible what LEGO was able to accomplish with this set for $130, 1,005 pieces. And it knocked it out of the park with the figure selection. You got the First Order Stormtrooper, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren this time around, General Pride, 2 different Knights of Ren, Aplek and Ushar, I probably butchered those, and a Sith Trooper from Episode 9. 6 figures in a $130 Star Wars set that isn't like a ship that carries minifig. It's not like a gunship or a troop transporter type of thing. That's really good to me. Now back to the ship. Much like Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter a second ago, that nice black and gray design with the touch of red, just a drizzle, and it looks spectacular. You could fit Kylo Ren and 2 of his Knights of Ren in the inside, so that would leave your other 3 figures to wander about. You did have an area to hold a spring-loaded shooter inside, and a couple spring-loaded shooters would go underneath the ship. I kind of wish they had done the spring-loaded shooters in red for this one instead of the green. I mean, the green looks fine, it kind of pops on it, whatever, but the red would match much like it did with Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter, so would have appreciated that a little bit more, I think. Now, when you lifted the ship off your table or off your desk, the wings would automatically fold into flight mode. That was definitely one of the coolest things about this ship. And then when you wanted to fold them back in, you could use the engine on the back and spin it to get the wings to come on back to their right position. And then the wings also were able to cut in half. So when it was landed and you wanted to bring the wings all the way down, you actually just pulled a little Technic piece out and then plopped them down into their lower position for having landed. But this to me by far is my favorite LEGO Star Wars Sequel Trilogy set. There are some other very good ones, but there's also some other really bad ones, so maybe I'll make a worst to first of all sequel trilogy sets here in the future. But let me know what your favorite LEGO Star Wars Sequel Trilogy set is from episode 7, 8, or 9 in the comments section below. If you haven't already and you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss more LEGO content. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.